Okay, legends. We are back in the Chat with the Hat studios, and I have a very, very important guest with us tonight, as well as my little millennial mate Rowan, who's joined us again this week. And welcome to Motorsport Kiwi, Jaden Abden? Aben.
Aben. Yeah,
Aben.
yeah.
Got that wrong. Got that right.
It's
From
all
New
right.
Zealand, and he's the Prince of New Zealand because the King of New Zealand is Greg Murphy. We all know that, and he's joined us tonight as a special guest host. And we've got some words. We've got a lot of words to talk about. We've got Taupo coming up. Um, for the ones that
Very
have
excited.
listened to our very last year, we had a Jaden on the potty, and we talked about he was the driving force behind the wild card, the fan engagement for the wild card with Boost and getting Richie Stanaway and Greg Murphy back onto the circuit with Erebus. And he started the campaign, it got traction, and then basically it turned into a juggernaut, didn't it?
Oh, mate, like still to this day, a year and a half later, 2 years later, since the race had happened, like I still can't believe that we managed to make that happen. Like for years I was going, oh, there's no way that Murph will come back. There's no way. And then after Richie walking away too, I thought that was a done deal. So to get both of them back, it's like holy, we made something cool happen.
Oh, we
And
can swear here, but not a lot. That's all fine.
yeah, yeah. I'll get there.
Yeah, it's all good. All right, Rowan. Been a couple of weeks since we've caught up. We saw each other at the Melbourne GP, and we've had pretty much zero racing. Thank you, Supercars. Since then. So, hey, what have you been up to, buddy?
Not a lot, mate. It's been pretty quiet on this end of the fence. So just kicking back, relaxing, just enjoying the time off in between motorsports. Well, watching the 6 hour obviously on the Easter weekend and Suzuka last weekend. But other than that, I've been doing sweet FA.
Typical millennial. All right, boys, let's get into it. So let's kick this off. We've got a long list. We'll try and get this one done short and sharp.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
luck.
that's a lie. Um, I want to start the podcast off with paying my respects, and I'm sure for everybody, to Bev Brock, the passing of Bev this week, the ultimate lady of motorsport. Sad news, and very much loved. And from all the people who I've never met Bev, but all the people that I've spoken who have, she still, all the way up to this year, was still working with the fans and loved meeting the fans at different events and motorsport events. So yes, condolences to the family and James and the other brothers and sisters. So yeah,
Yeah,
Valet Bev.
Yeah.
yeah, definitely very sad news to wake up to on I think it was Monday morning. So it was yeah, very sad. I myself never got to meet Bev or Peter there. The only two racing identities that I've never got to meet that I always wanted to. So, but the original queen of the supercars paddock, that's for sure, and it's a great loss for the sport.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I think, when you look back at the history of the sport, there's always going to be those kind of people that were supporting those heroes, like they couldn't have done it without yeah, just massive kind of passion and strength of the partners that were there through those times. It wouldn't have been easy, going away and doing what they did and being in the public eye. And she even after Peter's passing, she's continued his legacy well, and it's a shame to see her pass after her battle with cancer, but she gave a lot to the sport and their fans over the time. So we can only just pay our respects and remember the times that she gave us, and yeah, and again just another legend gone, unfortunately.
Yeah, definitely. But once again, her legacy will live on, much like Peter's. That's for sure.
Yep.
Definitely.
Well said, boys. Well said. So let's move on to the news. There hasn't been much racing since Melbourne. We've spoken about the short, sharp racing, which was very entertaining because of the format that they were handed, which we all loved. The super sprints. I don't want to say it as a regular, but as a novelty. It did generate great racing, especially with the whole Cam versus Matty Payne spin out.
Yeah, that was pretty tasty.
Yeah, and then Supercars released the actual radio footage.
Yeah, that was nice.
Oh.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah, they got to do more of that stuff. That's what the fans want to see. It's like an F1 where they were releasing, what they were saying and behind the scenes after the podiums and stuff like that. Like we want to see that kind of stuff. You get a bit of banter and a bit of pretty full on stuff. Really, gives you a better picture of what happened.
Oh, yeah. The only thing that I reckon that Cam was most angry about was that Matty Payne's car had already turned, and when he opened that door, he was on the wrong side.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
And he couldn't reach him.
Cam definitely wanted to give him a sock in the helmet. That's for sure. You could see it in his eyes. Yeah,
Morris and Longhurst all over again.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
He's ripped open the door and gone, oh shit. You're on the other side, past the other side of the bar work and the net. Oh, I'm just going to give you a mouthful. So,
but again, those moments, the adrenaline's running high, and you can imagine in that kind of situation when you're battling for the lead, and then next thing you know, you've got big damage and you're parked up on the fence. It's like, nah, you're gonna have a lot of that kind of passion. It's gonna explode, and I enjoy watching drivers that are happy to let a few words out, and I've always had respect for those kind of drivers. Like Schumacher at Spa, after that crash, that took off his wheel and
took his wheel off,
storming down. I love that stuff. Bring it on.
See. Well, that's why I've loved NASCAR for 25 years. Yeah, exactly. That's why I've loved NASCAR for 25
exactly.
years. Yeah.
Like Gacy's throwing a bumper bar onto the windscreen last round at the round before at Richmond. Like he's just ripping off the bonnet when he got tagged and is throwing it on windscreens.
Oh, but it's that kind of stuff that that's the difference between the motorsport over there and then over here. The rivalries are the ones created on social media and through all these news places. There's not any kind of real rivalries.
It's manufactured rivalry. Yeah,
exactly. So you want to see the real stuff, and like that stuff's not manufactured. You don't throw car parts at each other. Like if that was fake. I love that stuff. Bring it on.
Yeah, that's it. Well, I was going to say the last true rivalry we actually had in Supercars. I think can't think of anyone after it. Probably would have been Ambrose and Murphy. So they they those two didn't like each other. It was abundantly clear, and
Scaife and Ingle
them go at it, and Scaife and Ingle, but that was before. So
probably the closest we've had since would have been either Whincup and Winterbottom. They came together a couple of times, or even Shane and Scott. They had a bit of a rivalry going on. Oh no, but
that was just like respectful.
It was a respectful rivalry, but wasn't true hatred or anything. But I feel like there was definitely a strong rivalry there, and
I'd throw Waters and Mostert into that because they took each other out. Like 2 years.
That is very true. That compilation's a long one, mate. They had a few bangs over the years.
They didn't even make the start on the warm-up lap. Both cars were taken out. I think it was the Gold Coast. I think they were doing the warm-up, and then all of a sudden everyone's gridding up, and then hang on, where the hell's the pole sitter and where's Chaz?
That kind of stuff. They were a magnet for so long, and I think everyone, even commentators and all, every time they're on the track together, it's like, is it going to happen again? Like, is it a matter of time? But I think they've finally kind of settled it, and they can now race without having bits.
They're racing for different teams now, so they seem to only want to crash into each other when they were racing for the same team. Ever since they've been racing for different teams, they've kind of left each other alone.
Isn't that funny, eh? Tim Edwards would have been gutted. He'd be like, "What's going on here, mate?"
That's when we had
what we needed to do a couple of years ago.
As soon as they took each other out or tapped, there was Supercars media with their camera right in Edwards' face, waiting for him to blow up and throw something in the garage again.
Like clockwork, it was always going to happen, and you could see his face. It was coming.
Yeah,
I love it.
Now we got Happy Tim now, and now we got No Tim. He's up in.
Now we got No Tim. He's in the box now.
MA. Yeah. Oh well, Supercars. He's working in Burgess's role as head of motorsport, so he's.
Yep.
He can be angry at everybody universally.
Perfect.
All right, boys. So let's talk about the elephant in the room because oh well, there was a bit of information that dropped yesterday, and yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was yesterday. Yeah.
Brodie Kostecki has agreed to take the seat of the number 1 car and return to Erebus for the remainder of the season. At this point, it doesn't really say that he's not. He's back in. He's back in. So there's been a massive backflip, and there has been an agreement made, a compromise from, I don't know, both sides, I suppose. That's the only way compromises work. But there's been a negotiation and there's an agreement, and he's now back with Erebus, which I'll put my hand up. There was absolutely zero chance of that being on my radar, on my bingo card, that he was going back to Erebus, considering what we know about the bad blood between Barry and Brodie, and it all came to a head after Adelaide last year, and the statements that were made at the time and the ultimatums that were issued and the ensuing terminations and then re-employment and changing the roles and all that stuff. It looked to me like basically he was out for the season, and they own his contract and won't let him even race a billy cart at the Red Bull, like Moomba billy cart race. So he's now back in the car, and it comes with some pretty explosive demands from Erebus, where he's had to give away the Boost personal sponsorship from Peter Adderton, who's been supporting him since he was a young boy, starting out all through his career, and has been his number 1 champion through his time at Erebus. And it's obviously not coming from Brodie. It was a demand from Betty and Erebus that he remove that sponsorship and that connection, which he's had to agree to as a condition of him returning to his drive, because otherwise he is literally doing nothing for the rest of the season. And he's only got this year to go on his contract. At the end of this year, he's out. So we've got another, 8 rounds? 10 rounds. 10 rounds to go.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say straight off the bat with the whole Brodie thing, that's just a glaring example of the toxic workplace that's Erebus, when they're forcing him to remove one of his major personal sponsors, a person that's been there with him his entire career and would have continued to be with him. It just shows exactly what sort of workplace and what sort of environment it is when they're telling him, if you want to come back, or you're going to come back, you're going to get rid of these people that have been there for you your whole time. That is literally what people in toxic relationships do, is they tell you you've got to remove yourself from your support group.
Yep, that is bang on, absolute bang on. I can't believe, with everything surrounding it, that's come out, and those are the conditions to get him back. It's like I just, they really don't want to do themselves very much good press, because for Peter, that must be just such a stab in the back. And for Brodie, there's two sides. You have to understand his side of it, but to be turning away, from Peter after all he's done for Brodie. He got his initial start in Supercars with the wild card. He backed his first campaign as a full-time driver. He got him his NASCAR Cup start last year. That kind of stuff. He's pushed him the whole way, and he's not, even through this whole fiasco. I know that Peter and Jason have been pushing their best to try to get him back in the seat, and now to just be kind of hit like that. And, this is after Brock Feeney turned away on Peter after, Peter got him to that point as well, a few years ago. It's just such a shame to see someone who puts his money where his mouth is, supports young drivers, gets them to where they need to be when no one else will support them. And when you just continually get kind of kicked, you can't blame them for double thinking and going, should we be investing in this if this is the way that we're going to be treated?
Well, that's it. You can only take so many blows before you've had enough, can't you? So,
100%. And, for Peter, anyone that's dealt with him, I'm sure we all have. And he's just such a good bloke, he's very outspoken. He does say a lot of stuff and loves to stir it, but he tells it how it is. And everything that I've, every time I've dealt with him, it's just been a great experience. And, I think everyone around has enjoyed his experience as well, So I really don't understand, why, Betty and Barry, they obviously don't like a bit of banter and don't like when people just go, hey, we're calling you out on this. So it's a shame that they've gone to that extent to actually prevent him from continuing that relationship. And that's just, it's such a shame for a reigning champion for that to be the condition to come back. Like Brodie deserves more. Like he gave him a championship last year. That was every bit Brodie as it was Erebus, and they've got to keep that level of respect, and it's not their choice. It'd be different if they signed Vodafone as their main sponsor, for the cars. Maybe then he might have to lose the Boost sponsorship, but because of a personal clash,
petty grievances,
mate.
Exactly. I can't
am
understand
dead
how
set
that's professional.
waiting. I'm waiting for them to announce they have a $50 sponsorship from Vodafone or Optus, so that if Brodie ends up getting a pole position this year, they can just toddle off down to Shane Howard and go, oh, I want a Chaz exemption, please. Hand it out like lollies and go, we're not going to put the hat on for the podium award because we have a clash now for a $50 Vodafone or an Optus sponsor or a Telstra sponsor, anybody.
Yeah.
Because at the moment, they can't claim an exemption because they hate Peter's guts. Because I don't want to is not a good reason to ignore a category sponsor because there is no actual commercial conflict.
Is Brodie ever going to get the pole, though?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised. The guy's fast enough. The cars are fast enough. We don't have an issue with the team and the mechanics and the engineers building a fast car and making a fast car. And we've got the fastest guy driving the car at Taupo in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I think it'll be interesting to see if that dynamic is going to be the same. Because, a lot has happened since their last time racing together, Brodie and Erebus. Some of the cores, like Shannon's left, and they've had a few changes, and I think, it would be everything's got to work to be really successful in supercars. You need all the piece of the puzzle, and I don't know. Will that dynamic be the same? Will it work the same? I don't know.
Well, it all depends if Barry Ryan is in the garage.
For sure,
because he's no longer team principal, and this was part of the stipulation that Brodie made at the end of last year with the ultimatum to Betty. It's him or me. It was very clear. So Barry gets sacked, completely sacked, and then gets rehired as the CEO, but loses his role as the team principal. The team let out with a out of the blue statement that they're spinning it as they do. Mate, I have not seen more spin coming out of one particular organization than I've seen since I was watching Sesame Street, and he had that guy with all the plates.
Yeah.
Trying to keep about 15 plates in the air on the end of those sticks. So whether Barry is in the garage next Friday, we'll find out when we turn up if Barry's actually running the car, because if Brodie's had to force out a sponsor and all of that money, also financial, like his money, then which is hundreds of thousands of dollars for the helmet. His helmet's worth probably about $400,000 or $500,000. I've heard some of the numbers that some of these helmet guys are like getting for the whole helmet, like what all the sponsors on his helmet are. They're pushing close to $1 million a year for helmet sponsorship collectively.
Yeah.
So does that mean that he managed to negotiate, or his lawyers managed to negotiate the original standpoint where I'm not driving for Barry, so I don't want to see Barry. I don't want to deal with Barry. I'll come back and drive the car, but Barry's not team principal. B1 is. Brad is now the team principal. Barry has no legitimate role on race day. Let's find out if Barry's going to be at the garage next Friday week, and looking over B1's shoulder, who's now been promoted But is he
Well,
just a puppet?
There's only one of us that's going to be there next weekend, so we'll see,
Two of
won't
us?
we? Two of us. Are you
Oh,
going
mate.
as well? Are you?
Oh, mate,
Are
wouldn't
you
miss it.
kidding? He lives in New Zealand.
I thought you. Are you going as well? Are you, Dave? You heading
Yeah,
to New
I'm going.
Zealand? Oh, nice. There you go. All right, there's two of us then. There's only one of us that won't be going then.
Yeah, exactly.
100%, mate. I'm going. I'm going to catch up.
Nice.
I mean, hopefully I won't get my car towed, and I won't end
Yeah,
up abandoned couch surfing for the weekend.
You live and learn, Dave. I'm sure you'll be a lot more onto it this time around.
So there's my point on all of this. We haven't even got to the Todd and Coey and Jaden Ojeda who misses his role yet. But yeah, what do you guys reckon? Because there's massive backflip. Someone's managed to make a massive deal here, and this is not the deal that everybody was expecting. Not the announcement we were all prepared for, which was basically Brodie gets released after he has no chance to win a championship because he's already down 2 rounds.
Yeah, well, look, myself personally, the first thing that I thought was that Betty's clearly got much better lawyers than Brodie because she's got a little bit more cash than he does. But I thought, and it's just a thought and an opinion that I had, but I was assuming that he was told basically you drive for us or we're going to sue you for a breach of contract and take a lot of money out of you. But I think there may be more behind it than that. But it's just I'm just so shocked that he's racing, that he's decided to race from after everything that he said, after everything that went on, to then come back and end up back in the team again is like it's just added more questions to an already gigantic pile of questions in this entire saga. Like I just. And I just don't know where to go from here, to be honest with you. I'm still in shock. I'm still reeling from it because as you said, who saw it coming? Nobody.
Yeah, I think the whole scenario, like when you look at the narrative that they're putting out, they're still kind of basing it on the fact that he needed to take some time for health issue, like to get things kind of sorted. But sponsors don't leave if your champion driver like has to miss a round or two because he can't drive, like that doesn't happen. And when you've got all your main sponsors that walk, where's the reasoning behind that? And it's still being brushed over like nothing. It's nothing, it's just crazy to think that this is what they're making, they're thinking people are believing. I can't see that. I can't see how you could believe that. It's for Brodie, and I completely am in behind, if you need to take time for mental health and stuff like that, then 100% do what you got to do. That comes first. But I think there's a lot more to the story. And
wasn't a thing.
Exactly. Well, that's it. Yeah. And that's the thing, and you don't want to.
It was a line that they're towing, and now they had to he's had to tow that line because that's the prepared statement that he has to agree to. So he's not allowed to answer any questions because of the gag order or the confidentiality clause will be in play because he's under contract.
The problem with that is that he's straight up said in his acceptance speech for the Peter Brock medal at the awards ceremony night, he told everybody he was in good health, that his health wasn't the issue, and that there was just some things that he was working out with the team. So the fact that they're still trying to spin this bullshit that it's to do with his health is such a kick in the teeth. And
that's the line they started at Bathurst at round 1. And that's the official company line. And he has to tow that one at the moment.
Oh,
it's disgusting.
It is. Like I get that they can't be completely transparent, if all this legal stuff going on, but come on, you gotta give us something and like just again admit if there is an issue just between Brodie and the team. Don't put it down to health or sell out this false thing. Because I remember when it first came out that he wasn't driving, I'm going, shit, is he okay? Like is he sick? Is like is something going on? And to be put that kind of narrative out, I don't think that's fair on anyone.
No, but it's an easy one just to smooth through because nobody wants to go hard if there's mental health as a claim.
But that just hurts people that actually do suffer from this stuff.
True. It's a false narrative.
Exactly, and I don't think that's that's fair on anyone.
So anyway, we'll wait and see. So that's the end of that. That's our piece. We've said our piece. We don't believe a word. of the statement. Well, I don't. I don't believe a word of that statement that come out. It's all being managed by lawyers and spin doctors, and hopefully all he has to do is drive his ass off this year and win races and take it up to the Red Bull boys, because he can take it up to Feeney and Brownie and do what he does well, which is a race car driver. Let's pull all this BS away and let him get into a fast car, because Erebus do make fast cars and he's a fast driver, and let him run the rest of this season out the best he can. And then next year, we'll just wait and see what doors are open to him, because if that RCR NASCAR deal is now become available again, because that was an Erebus RCR arrangement, not a Brodie RCR. So his pathway to America for NASCAR might be back on the boards now, which is what he's been driving towards, is to leave and go to race NASCAR where he started. But he's had to burn Pete along the way, and that was going to be a big leg up over there. So he might be. I know it's not him. This is not his choice. This was not his choice. So let's not be. I'm not hard on Brodie for doing that, but at some point when you're a young bloke, you got to look at your future, and
that's it. And the one other thing I did want to touch on is we're talking about all this and everything and saying that, but the article that came out today, I think it was Wide World of Sports, where Steve Blackmore, another former,
I was going to mention that.
Of Erebus, what he said in that, and he was someone that was in that garage every race weekend last year or for the last couple of years, to come out and say what he said is indication enough that everything they're saying is complete bullshit.
100%.
100%.
And the fact that he came out and just opened it all up, because I mean, I know a couple of things that I'm not going to say, because I'm not going to throw him expose all that stuff, because that was like stuff that I got told from last year about like his arrangement with the team. But he's now starting his own team. Like, he's got his own future now with the Super Utes, with Cam Crick and Earl from Shaw and Partners is getting a second ute as well. So it's going to be a two ute team, and they're going to go play race team owners as opposed to just sponsors from the sidelines. So they're investing in motorsport, and all good with that. And he's had his time with Erebus, and Steve's just kind of doesn't give a shit. He'll say what he wants. He'll say what he wants, and did. And it was refreshing to see that he opened up, and from a bloke who's from the inside looking out, and now from the outside looking back in, he goes, mate, all the ingredients for the cake are still there. They're still making a cake. So you can't unscramble an omelette, but, everything's still in there. So until somebody... We'll wait and see how this works out. So let's move on, boys. We spent way too much time on that. We did have the 6 hour a couple of weeks ago. Going to skim over this. We don't need to talk about who won every single class, because there was 320 cars turning up, and that was like way too many to fit on one track. So they spread it over 6 categories. But the main talking points I wanted to say was, how good is multi-class racing together on the one track?
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful, like the old days, mate. You can't beat it. Watching these beautiful cars just make their way around the mountain and really wrestling the buggers. There's just nothing better to watch.
No, that's it. Like as you said, like the good old days when you've got cars that are doing 260, 270 Ks, and another few cars doing 180, and they're all sharing the same stretch of tarmac, and just watching them have their own little battles between themselves, but also just managing to do it without too much incident and crashing into each other was just so good to see, especially considering that most of them are amateurs as well. So
this is true. All of this is way more successful than the last year. Like this is just, apart from the sheer number of competitors, but they have 59 at the end. They were supposed to have 63 cars, but a few didn't make it during the quali and practice days. They failed. But being a production car race, literally you just go buy a car, put a roll cage in it, upgrade your brakes, put a chip in it, race.
Exactly. Again, like the old days, that's what we want to see, and I think it really gets people kick up the bum if they ever want to endeavour in something like that, but don't really have too much of a budget. It's like, this is my opportunity to be able to race at Bathurst, and kind of live out a fantasy. So I love it. I reckon bring on more of the stuff.
If you don't have a
Yeah.
BMW M3 or an M4, forget it. If you're going for outright,
Yeah, you're not gonna
Yeah.
win outright on us, that's for sure. So,
not a
what
single
I want to know,
Audi.
that's what I was about to say. Why is Audi not in this
Because they
race?
won't
Why
last
does-
6 hours getting punished, mate.
Yeah, that's true.
Legit.
'Cause I-
Like
yeah.
this is the best advertisement that BMW have globally, that they will race a production car 6 hour at Bathurst and have done since day one, dominated the
Yeah.
outrights.
Well, and I think it's so much of an indication of how good they are that no other manufacturer is even willing to get on board, because they're just like, no, fuck that, we're not going to win.
Nah,
So-
it doesn't work
Yeah,
this
yeah.
way, mate. It doesn't work this way. These guys go buy a $60,000 BMW, put a roll cage in it, or you're going to have to pay what, 150 for an Audi that's going to break down along the way, maybe. But it's all like, it's cheap cars. You just go buy a parts car for 60 grand.
Yeah, it's
You're
just it's mental.
not spending 750 on a supercar.
I do have to admit, it would be nice to see another manufacturer take it to them, but I just can't see it
Yeah.
happening.
Well,
So
build a better road car.
yeah, it's true.
Well, the
That's
HQs
what-
had a crack. We had 51 of those guys on circuit. We all knew
Oh.
that was
Yeah.
going to end in custard.
Oh, the HQs, yeah. Well, that was you put 50 whatever, 1970s built brick, what just tanks. That's the word I'm looking for. Brick tanks on the track, and especially a
we
track
love.
like Bathurst. Yeah, oh,
Which we love.
fantastic. But
It's like the old
but
days.
yeah, it was never going to end with every single car coming back pristine and no dings in the panels. That's for sure.
Well, not when you're
Yeah.
piling in at the elbow. And then all of a sudden, there's like 7 cars all piled up, tracks blocked. Oh, well, here we go.
That was always going to happen, I think. But again, good entertainment, and that was it's something I think a lot of people we're seeing going into the weekend that was going to happen.
Well, you
got a
guys
lot
still
of,
race the HQs in New Zealand, don't you? You still have the full solid
Yeah.
fields over there racing HQ.
Oh, again, there's a lot of guys just passionate about their cars and just love, take any opportunity to get out them, get them out and get on track. And we're very fortunate with the setups that we have with the tracks over here too. A lot of opportunities to get on. So, and they love to run those kind of categories. And, unfortunately in a way, that's just about as good as it gets over here these days. We don't have too much in terms of, top outright stuff, but I always love sitting on the hill at Hampton Downs, or going to Pukekohe back in the day and just watching the old girls go around. It's just such an awesome sight. Guys love to rap them well, and it's always something I sit down and love to watch.
Are they still running the same as what we had, like 202s and 3-speed gears?
Oh, there's a great range. There's a lot of a lot of cars brought through. There's a lot of different classes as well. Great opportunity. No matter what what kind of model you got, or what kind of area you're in, you can crack into it.
Yeah,
and,
cool.
race your mates. I think it's cool, and just going out yelling with the guys. It's just good fun. You're finding out the heritage of the cars, and that, and you can just see how much they love what they do, and just the opportunity to get out and give it a thrash.
Well, that's what we had as kids, mate. I mean, I had HQs and HXs. I had a HQ Monaro when I was a kid. I bought it for $500, and I got the grinder out and cut a sunroof in it because it was a spare parts car. It was a donor car. I bought it for $500. I took the bucket seats out of it, the dash, took the front flutes off, whacked them on the HX. It was. If I knew then, if I knew now, what I knew then.
Oh, hindsight.
Yeah. Ryder Quinn pretty much tried to emulate his dad in the Mustang, and big head on in the wall at Suleiman at the top of the mountain there, and turned his Mustang into a Ford Focus.
Yeah, that's as big a crash as I've seen there in quite a while. Actually, that was like when I saw the car on the side of the road, I went, you looked at it when they first panned the car, and I went, that's some pretty hefty damage. But then to see that accident and just head on into it, and there's no tires there. That's head on into concrete at what, like 190, 200 clicks. That was a big accident. So for
Oh
him
no, it
to,
wasn't quite at 190. Just coming out of the chase. Sorry, out of the cutting. He was on the gas and just spun it. So it would have been maybe 120, 130, but like 120 with no brakes into a concrete wall. Yeah. But luckily he's
oh, was it just
okay.
out of the
Like,
cutting? I thought it was a little bit further. Oh, was it just out of the
no, it was
cutting?
at
Was it?
Sulman. He actually hit the
Ah,
Sulman
okay, yeah.
sign. He
That's right, he
literally
did.
just
Yeah,
gone
yeah,
through
yeah.
Reed and then straight into Sulman.
No, that's right. I was thinking it was a bit further up. No, that's right. But
No,
still,
he
bloody
wasn't at
hell,
McPhillamy yet.
that,
He hadn't got to McPhillamy or the
that was
Skyline,
a
but
hit.
no, luckily
Yeah.
for him, dinosaur bumps and bruises, and he lived to fight another day. Actually, speaking of the 6 hour, the Mustangs were just doing Mustang things. They were just hitting everything. They were hitting each other. They were hitting walls. Standard Mustang fare, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, bang on. True to their name.
And then we'll finish this up on the 6 hour because it was an amazing event. But Tommy Randall coming down the chase when Davo had that gear selection issue, trying to get out of the elbow, and he wasn't sure which way Davo was going, so just chucks two wheels on the outside and just just holds it flat and does like a Jaden Ojeda move from last year to make the
Oh,
overtake
love it.
on Davison.
Love it. Love it. Take any opportunity, mate. Get those wheels in the grass. You got this. Just
Yeah.
That's it.
keep the throttle fucking
Just don't
fudging
lift.
pinned and
No,
you're good to
you're
go.
good,
Yeah.
mate. You're good.
Yeah.
That's it. And speaking of Jaden Ojeda, first and the team first back-to-back and double winners of the Bathurst 6 hour as well. So kudos to them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
true.
wicked job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's got
Yeah,
himself
no,
a
very, very
GT
well
drive
deserved.
too,
He has, yeah. So
which we'll
pays
get
off.
to a little bit later. All right, so that 6 hour big six. Oh, congratulations to Team Bacchini. 1 out of 3 cars. The other two had like issues, but the girls came through, kicked ass, won Class B1 with Courtney,
Fir-
Carly, and
First all-female pairing to ever stand
right?
on the top step of Bathurst in any race.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. So kudos to them.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. First of many.
Yep,
Yep.
100%. I think. Yep, won't be the last.
So
Yeah.
keep listening, kiddies, out there in podcast world, because I'm trying to just find some time where Claire and Paul and I can have a little chat with Team Bacchini, because they're not just a 6 hour crew. They're current racing history in rally and everything, and enduros is just extraordinary. So I'm hoping to get an interview with those two lined up as soon as I can find some time with them that works. So 6 hour, congratulations to everybody. Success is not measured on the number of people that turn up to watch, because it's pretty much vacant as far as spectators go, but I'm pretty sure it's once after last year and this year, TV is really going to make all their coin. And I'm going to go up there next year. I couldn't make it this year to Easter, but next year for sure I'm going to be up there on the mountain. I won't be struggling to get space down at the pits, I can tell you.
Definitely not.
Okay, so moving on. Seeing as now we've all become NASCAR freaks, and we all love NASCAR all of a sudden, because
Well, you
we've
guys
had,
all of a sudden, I've been watching since the 90s, but yeah, go for it.
well, you are my NASCAR doyen. If I need to learn something or ask a question, I'll just ask you, because you actually know the answer. While I'm trying to learn and educate myself. We had
there
a
was a
couple of
chap by the
Aussies
name
over
of
there.
Jeff Gordon racing cars when I first started. He was the dude in the 24, not William Byron. So
Yeah, well, Byron, we'll get to that. Byron ended up lucking out because he was not leading all until the end of that carnage at the in the cup race. But so we had Richmond last week, or the week before, yeah, last week, which was a wet race.
started,
And then
yeah.
it started wet. It wasn't actually a wet race, but it started wet on a wet track. So they end up having to put their wet tires on. And now NASCAR aren't too terrified about driving in the wet, because they do have a wet tire now for the first time in ever. That kind of turned into some pretty cool racing, because as those tires, because it ended up being a dry race, and then they all had to do their tire things and jump and pit stops and a little bit of fun. the race went on fine until towards the end when it just got full NASCAR when they started going Super 2. They started binning it. And you thought, this is the thing with NASCAR. You think you're going to get a finish, right? And then someone bins it, but they haven't taken the white flag yet. So there's only 2-3 laps to go. So they chuck a caution and then they'll go overtime. And then they go overtime. And then they go overtime. They'll do as many overtimes as it takes just to get a green result.
I think the most I've seen previously is 6 or 7 overtime restarts before they actually got a result out of a race. So
Yeah, that was the end of that was like late last year. Late last year, they just kept going, because on the restart, somebody tagged somebody and then they hit a wall. It's like, oh, here we go again. Another caution. And we're doing another 2-lap green checker, like overtime.
Yeah.
But this one, all I want to talk about this one was Truex Jr., who was leading this race for the majority of it and was lining up for the win, gets tagged just before the finish. And Bubba Wallace, taps Larson. That brought out the thing. And then Truex loses the win because Hamlin dumped him in the pits, when they all dove in for tires.
Yeah.
And Hamlin's pit crew did like a second and a half quicker because all the 3 leaders came in together.
Oh,
Hamlin
they smashed that pit stop.
And Logano and Truex all came in. Hamlin was behind him on the lane and ended up leaving the pits in front, jumps them. Now we've only got a 2-lap race because we're going green for a dash. Wins it. Nah. Truex is not taking any of this. He starts hitting everybody with his car. He's ramming everybody. He's ramming Larson. He's ramming Hamlin. He's cracked the shits.
Well, the reason he was so pissed off, and I've gone back and I've watched the replay of it a couple of times now. I think Denny Hamlin may have actually jumped that restart, and that's what.
Yeah, how's that for a blow up?
So that's what he was not happy about.
I think that. Was it Larson on the outside that was holding back?
I've gone back and watched it. He did go about a meter before that restart line.
But it's your job to stay nose to nose on the outside.
So that's why Truex was pissed, because it was about a meter before the restart line that Danny took off. And that's what got him that. It's only a meter, but that's all
I'm with you. I saw the same thing, man. I agree. He was lifting the gas. He was pushing the gas just as he was hitting the line. Now, whether that's a 1 meter thing, but at the same time as they're coming around that turn 4 into the 4. Yeah. Truex wasn't marking him. He wasn't staying with him. He drifted back half a car.
Well, that's actually a tactic they do in NASCAR, because if you can get that right, if you can drift back that half a car, and then you can know that they're going to go just as they hit that line, you can accelerate a little bit before them, and that gives you a little bit extra inertia,
which he didn't do
coming on. But he didn't do. But I still get why he's pissed, because Hamlin did jump the start, and NASCAR didn't do a thing about it, which is
NASCAR reviewed it, but apparently, as all the guys I listen to who like NASCAR drivers and people on all their potties, they looked at it 6 times and went, yep, we're good. Everybody does it. Now, we're talking about NASCAR here. There's rules that aren't enforced like Supercars, where we're just so nitpicky, because they just still go with the vibe of the thing. They're more than happy to have guys literally push and punt guys into walls for the win.
Yep.
We can't even do a bump and run.
No. Cannot.
Yep.
Everyone's getting 5-second penalties, 15-second penalties or drive-throughs for making contact. And if it's unnecessary contact in our sport, like you got to drive through. You put someone out into the kitty litter, like you're done. You got to drive through, or a 15-second penalty.
Have you been watching much of the Cup Series, Jaden, or have you just been watching the Xfinity?
Mostly Xfinity, but I've been watching the Odd Cup as well. Like just depending kind of what what I'm up to and if I've got the time. But always like to see what's going on in the main series as well, and just get a bit of a gist of it, and especially because Shane's going to be making a few more starts there this year. So I'm pumped, and starting to get to know a few of the personalities, and I think the more I watch it, I'm just really going to get into it.
Austin Hill's
Yeah.
my guy in Xfinity. Austin Hill, I love everything about him. He's like the Greg Murphy of like Xfinity. Doesn't give a shit. He's just going to hit you. He's going to drive through. He's going to race you hard. Big fan of Austin Hill.
So I haven't ever since Jeff Gordon retired, I haven't actually gone and picked myself another actual driver to follow yet. The only driver that I do love, just because it's pretty much the same shit that you've just mentioned. He just gives no shits and does what he wants to do. Is Rowdy Kyle Busch, because he just couldn't care less. Like he's just in it for himself, and that's what I like about it.
I'm a big fan of Kyle
NASCAR.
Larson. Like I seriously am.
I do like Larson.
Yeah,
very big fan of
Larson's
Larson.
cool.
Joe Logano, obviously. Big fan of him. Well, no, obviously I am. I've got a top 5, but apart from when Austin Hill punted Shane at Coda, and then he got punted back.
Oh,
and
I'm so glad that Shane gave him one back. Like that.
Yeah.
I think that was the moment they were going to find out whether or not Shane will take it or not. And he's like, nah, mate, I'm going to fold the bonnet up. I'm really going to get into it.
I think
he pushed it the whole way through that corner.
Yeah,
I think he hit him that wasn't a bump. He thought he was gonna.
Yeah, the rear wheels probably weren't touching the ground on that one. That was that was a goodie. But again, fair play, and talk to anyone but Austin. I think everyone agreed that it was tit for tat. He gave him one early, and he gave him one back.
Yeah, 100%. And that was that, as you said, that was Shane. Shane has to, if he wants to keep racing in NASCAR, he's got to show that he's not, if you're going to give it to him, he's going to give it straight back to you. And
exactly.
And he done that and then some with that pump back on Austin Hill, that's for sure.
Oh, that's it, and I think that's cool, and I think a lot of the locals will be like, sweet, okay, this guy's he's in the right place. This should be good fun, and I really can't wait. Hey, I think the more he gets the kind of knack of how these guys do it, it's going to be entertaining to watch.
Oh hell yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, the thing is, Shane is used to leaning on guys here within our very, very narrow window of acceptability. If he tries to use the supercars tactic in NASCAR, mate, you're done. Like you got to ramp that up 1,000%. Like you can literally just drive through guys here now. You can do what you want to do. You can lean on a guy and use them up and just push them and just take their aero and tap them, and everything's all square.
Well, the thing that he's introducing to a lot of them is, a lot of these other kind of tactics, because Shane hasn't been able to use the bumper in supercars. He's had to learn different ways to be able to pass, and they keep going on about his switchbacks at Coda because he was just, these guys couldn't believe how well he was doing it, and it's like this is what he was doing all the time down here. Correct. That was the way of racing. So I think that's a positive, but now he's got to learn the other side of it and go, okay, I can do this. What's too far, which unfortunately that line's pretty far. But I think once he gets the gist of that side, I think he's going to be a weapon. Like already, you look at him in the oval races and that he's already showing good pace and he's not far off. And you give him time and he'll be there.
Well, the thing is, in the oval races is, and this is 100% why the teams that have got him into NASCAR is because they know for a fact that he's amazing on road and street courses, and that he's most likely, now that they've got 7 of them in a year, he's going to win one of those races. And the fact that he showed that he can stay consistently inside the top 20, even work his way up into the top 15 and top 10, is going to put him in a position where he's going to be battling for championships at the end of the year. And that's why these teams have put him in NASCAR, and he's gonna do it. He's already there. He's already up the front. Give him another 12 months and he's going to be a consistent front runner, I reckon.
It was a real shame that Coda didn't go his way, because that would have put that in the box, and then the rest of the season he can just learn.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Like you bank it. You bank a win.
But
Coda.
Shane loves a good carrot, like he loves, like that'll just be a little bit of extra motivation for him, and I'm sure, when they get to Chicago, especially, he'll be wanting to smash that up again. So, I'm looking forward to it. And Shane, you look at all the stuff he's done, he learns quick, like he's done a lot of different disciplines and
It also
motorsport.
depends on his car and his pit crew too, because they've like haven't been the best like help for him track position wise either.
For sure, but he'll get there, and like any good driver, he'll find himself in a good team, and I think he'll, hopefully they can step it up a little bit, but yeah,
I'll stay with Colig because Trackhouse have got that arrangement for him just to learn his way. So
yeah, well, and that's, and the main thing is he's got that Trackhouse support, and they can put together a good car. So going forward when he gets that full-time cut, I think it's going to be something great to watch, because he started in quads, he ended up in open wheelers, rally, anything, that guy can drive. So and he's done thousands of iRacing races on ovals, and I think he understands the kind of the way it works, and he
just has to feel it.
That's it. And you look at how quickly he adapts to this stuff. I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do over there. I think once he gets the knack, he'll be mega.
Well, I was gonna say to you, like with the dangling the carrot in front of him, or setbacks actually spurring him on. Was it Rally New Zealand 2022? I think when he his first ever rally, and he had the crash or the off on the first day of the rally, and then he comes back and finishes bloody second overall. And I'm like, in the whole rally, and I'm like, that's what he does. He has a setback, or he has something that puts him back, and he just goes, no, fuck this. I'm gonna push myself even harder now, because I'm gonna show what I can be done. Yeah.
Oh, and I can think of a few scenarios where he did that perfectly, like 2016 when he was going to win his first championship in Sydney, at Olympia Park, and he ended up punting, was it Frosty or someone, and he ended up getting a drive through because he was driving conservatively, and then as soon as that happened and he was down the pack, he had to finish third, I think. He just went absolute apeshit, because he goes, this is it. This is my motivation. I'm pissed. Let's do it. And then he just flies through and ends up, winning it then, and it's the same at Pookie, when he got that 5-second penalty for giving Scott unloaded him at the hairpin, and he just went absolute ape, and again just did it because he had that extra motivation, extra kick up the bum, and man,
up until then he was just driving that he needed to. Then he had like the bar got moved.
Exactly, and I tell
I'm going to do that now. I'll just do that.
Exactly, he can pull it out. He can absolutely pull it out, and saw it on that last lap. In Kota in the Xfinity series, like he after getting pushed back at that restart, he was just again going ape, going, I'm still going to fight for this win.
Yeah, 100%.
And so I'm just can't wait to see what he can do.
And Larson's sitting back watching these two go and going, oh mate, I'm just going to wait for these two to run each other off the circuit, which is exactly what happened. He's going to drill him. He's going, oh look, he drilled him. Thanks, boys.
And he would have seen that coming as soon as, and that's why he would have been like,
he watched it the lap before. Go on, he went, nah, this is coming. There's payback here.
Yeah, go on, Shane. Have a go, mate. Have a go. It's great.
Did you guys watch the trucks? Did you watch the trucks this weekend at Martinsville?
I watched the highlights of it. I didn't watch the whole race.
Yeah, holy hell, Martinsville. Me as a NASCAR virgin, not knowing all these circuits, right? This short track circuit stuff. Do not try to make a third lane. There's no room for 3 cars wide on this circuit. And I saw a couple of guys try to force their way up the middle, and it did become successful for one of them, as he got both doors bashed the shit out of as he was trying to push his way through because there's no room. But Cammy Waters had a go in the trucks this weekend. That was his first crack, and he was doing just perfectly fine. Like he's down the back half of the field, and that's okay. He's kept his nose clean. Did have a spin, but he recovered and kept going around, and it was all good. 20 laps to go. I don't know what happened. They must have all put some Gatorade, some Red Bull.
Martinsville happened is what happened.
Martinsville happened. They must have taken a sip, and they've all had like guarana or friggin' something in their water bottles because all hell broke loose. Everybody's now crashing like it's the new Vogue and causing all kinds of carnage. So Waters is caught up. He's towards the back, so you know you're going to get a bit of strife. There's a bit of a wreck happening in front of him. So the guy's in front. His teammate lifts because he has to work out which way he's going, and Cams doesn't, and just literally drove right into the ass of his teammate's car, and then turned into Bill the Steam Shovel from Mr. Squiggle, and was just pumping
that was
steam out the
impressive.
front of
Like,
the car.
I've watching NASCAR for 25, 30 years. I've seen a lot of steam coming out of cars before, but that was
Not
impressive.
like
that was
that.
an impressive amount of steam. Yeah, that was full on.
It looked like puffing Billy, for God's sake. It was just literally funneling steam like it had a chimney. And
yeah, no, that was impressive. I didn't actually realize it was Cam at the time. I didn't until you till you posted that post. I had no idea. I didn't even realize that was Cam that
yeah, he was in the
to.
trader ute. He's in the 150. I mean, he kept his nose clean. He did get turned, but it was a slide spin, not a full wall spin. But everybody was pretty clean in that until there was 20 laps to go. Then everyone's decided to drop the hammer, and tires were
that's just NASCAR in general, though. Like, it's most of the races in NASCAR are, they're people will do, just cruise around and just race around for the first 150, 250, whatever laps there is, and then you get to like 40, 50 laps before the finish, and everyone goes, oh shit, hang on a second, we're racing. And that's when they just start going for positions. So you'll see, like, I think there's a statistic that you get about, I think it's about 65 or 70% of all cautions in NASCAR races come in the last 25% of the race.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Especially on a short course, like when it's only half a mile, like it's only 22 seconds a lap.
Yeah.
People go, oh, it's 400
goes
laps.
pretty quick.
I'm thinking 400 laps. Bathurst is 161 laps. Oh, this is going to go for like 3 days.
No, mate. No, not when you're pulling laps at 22 seconds. So
yeah, and you're only racing half a mile. Yeah.
Yep.
Short track. All right, move on. Xfinity, that again at Martinsville, the bull ring again. That seemed to be a relatively clean race until the end again, when all hell broke loose. And
the trend here.
Sorry?
Yeah.
I said there's a trend here.
Oh, well, yeah, we haven't even got the cup yet. And Almirola, he won a 4-lap shootout because it was a caution just before the end of the race. And he was in that pack. And he ended up taking a benefit because I think, what was his name? Ended up running a bit wide, like in a turn, and just riding to the high line, just pushing up towards the wall and let him through.
Chase,
Smith, Creed, and Mayer. Smith ran Creed wide. He bounced into him. These two were in front of Almirola. Words. That guy. Yeah, so there's a 4-way battle for the win, and that got exciting. But that was also for $100,000. These guys get paid to win.
Yeah.
Oh, mate. If you needed more incentive, eh?
Supercars, well, this Dash for Cash thing, like it's the top 4 guys, and he's not going to play in the next round at Texas because he's only a part-time driver. He's not eligible for that one, but Supercars don't get paid. Not since the old Tony Cochran days, Australian Touring Car, when there was Bob Jane days, when there's Bob Jane days.
Bob Jane.
When we had prize money, up for wins. So, $100,000 for the next 4 rounds.
Yeah,
it's worth punting a bloke in it.
Oh, damn straight. I tell you what, I'd do it for less. That's for sure. I'd do it for a lot less, mate. Give me 100, I'll go for it. No worries.
And then we had the Cup race yesterday. The day of Monday morning. It's yesterday. Hendrick took all the top 1, 2, and 3. Their little Reds,
1, 2,
all the
3.
Hendrick Reds on their 40th anniversary for the team.
It was. So the 40th anniversary, I believe it was the 40th anniversary of their first win in NASCAR.
Was that what it was?
Yeah. So, yeah. So it was the 40th anniversary of Rick Hendrick's first win in NASCAR. So they all had the Hendrick burgundy colors, which those cars look nice. They all look so cool.
They did.
They
did.
Oh, absolutely. Color. Yeah.
Yeah. And for him to pull a 1-2-3, which is the first time that he's ever done it at Martinsville. I think they've done it a few times at other tracks, but it's the first time Hendrick's ever done 1-2-3 at Martinsville in their 40 plus
Yeah, it was
years
the
in
first time
the
in
sport.
history they said that one team's done a 1-2-3. I didn't realize they were talking only at Martinsville. I thought they were talking about in NASCAR as a general.
No, it was in Martinsville. No, I think Hendrick's done 1-2-3s in races before. I think so. Or maybe it was. I'm pretty sure it was at Martinsville.
They were
but I'm
saying
pretty
it's
sure.
the first time in history it's ever happened. So,
Oh, really? I might have to look into that. But I swear Hendrick's done 1-2-3 before. So, but could be wrong. I'll look it up. But it's good to see. Speaking of Hendrick, though, one thing I do want to say is going back to SVG as well. I would not be surprised in a couple of years' time, if he starts doing well, to see him in one of those Hendrick Motorsports cars.
That would be wicked.
Rick Hendrick knows talent when he sees it, and if he can get him and put him in a car that's going to be capable of consistently winning, he will do it.
Oh, I reckon that'd be mega. Like again, we'll see.
what about
see
Joe
how the next
Gibbs?
kind of year or two unfolds. But I think, I think there's a lot on the horizon if he can tee up with such a accomplished team that would just be mega. I reckon.
Yeah. You said Joe Gibbs. I don't think he's going to race for a Japanese brand. To be honest with you, he's not too fond of the Toyotas or anything. So I can't see.
They're doing just fine at the moment. Toyota's actually kicking ass.
I know they're doing just fine, but I just can't see Gizzy putting himself in a Toyota. So
it's just a body shell, mate. Everything's the same underneath.
I know. But no, he's
If you're getting paid to race, mate, you're getting paid to race. If someone's going to rip a fucking sticker off your helmet just to make it fucking work, I'm pretty sure someone's going to put a seat in a Toyota. So
I'd prefer to see him in a Hendrick's car anyway, because I've been a fan of Hendrick Motorsports since I started watching NASCAR as a wee lad. So
there's JRM as well.
Fair enough.
Dale Jr. You can go race with him.
Yeah, but he's not as successful as Hendrick.
No, they're not saying he is. All right, boys, that's the NASCAR wrap up, because I'm getting into it now. Like I really am. I'm enjoying NASCAR. I'm trying to learn all the rules and the strategies and all the podcasts I listen to, which are filling me in on how it works, which is ace. This week, Corey LaJoy is going ballistic. You thought we had issues with our sports supercars with parity and administration and finances and paybacks from the bosses to the teams, mate. It's the same. I'm listening to this potty at the moment, and it is identical to the all crap we've been putting up with from supercars for the last few years. NASCAR are no different to us. 100% no different to us.
NASCAR's about as corrupt as they can come when it comes to motorsports. So
no, it's not. No, he's not. No. It's not corruption. He's not talking corruption. He's talking about they had a campaign for parity. They've achieved parity, and now they're wondering why nobody can pass. They've limited the horsepower on the engines. He's a horsepower guy. He wants smaller tires, bigger engines, and other guys are going, no, we can work with the 650 horsepower motor instead of we can turn it up to a 750, 800 horsepower overnight. Engine builders have said, yeah, they can do all that. But all the same bullshit we've been dealing with for the last few years in supercars with getting the right car, the right package, parity, and, payments to the teams and disbursements. NASCAR's been doing the same thing. We just didn't know about it because no one paid attention. They're in the same boat that we're at.
NASCAR are probably a little bit better at keeping that shit quiet. And there's a lot of other stuff going on in NASCAR.
It's not being quiet, mate. These guys are talking about it. All the teams are talking about it. All the drivers are talking about it every single week. They've been talking about it for the last few years. This new gen car.
The new gen car, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, regardless of all of that, let's move on. It's good to see that we're not on our own in global motorsport, because basically motorsport is motorsport, and it's politics and it's money and it's just crap and no one's ever happy. F1.
I probably better head off anyway, guys. So I just got a little bit late, probably ran over the time a little bit. So
yeah, man.
Yes, sorry guys, but
thanks for awesome. We've kept you up. We've talked too long about all kinds of shit. Once again, Jaden, thank you very much. Motorsport Kiwi. Where can people find you on Facey? What's your Facey page there?
So just the Motorsport Kiwi. So yeah, at the Motorsport Kiwi on Instagram and Facebook. Got some exciting stuff lined up for Taupo next weekend. So definitely look out for me and the crew at Taupo. We're going to be in for a goodie. Yeah, definitely watch the
I'm so
space.
keen to catch up with you again at Taupo with all of your mates as well, because you got an absolutely legendary crew. They saved my butt last year at Pookie. I can give you the tip.
Oh no, there's a lot of passionate, good people over here, and yeah, definitely looking forward to having one more when you come over, and yeah, definitely a big weekend ahead. There's going to be a great event, and can't wait to show you around.
Remember your mate's name who makes that homemade whiskey.
Oh,
homemade bourbon. I can't remember his name. Because I ended up in one of those houses, like a mate of a mate or whatever. I ended up one of those late night when I was stranded. But you are more than welcome to bring another one of those bottles down. That was smooth. It was like mother's milk. He's got it right. He's been stealing
Look at that, hey! Got a knack for it. I have to send out some texts, and see what we can do.
You have to do a turn off on the way down when you drive down via Pookie, pick up a bottle and just bring it down. Yeah.
Oh, exactly right, mate. Yep, I think I should be able to do that. We'll definitely tee up some couple drinks. Definitely celebrate coming.
Mate, appreciate you coming on tonight. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Catch up again and get your points of view. So just before you do go, what are we expecting to see at Taupo? Because you're the only bloke who's been there. What are we looking forward to?
Yeah, so it's a great track. Like I went a couple months ago for the historic GP, and it's a very like good track for viewing. You can see the majority of it from kind of wherever you sit. The only bit that kind of goes a little bit further is the hairpin before the long back straight. So I think Tony's done a great job. Like the facilities are fantastic, and I think in terms of location, it's got an awesome backdrop. It's it's got a little bit of elevation. It's got a few good braking zones, and I think there'll be a bit of passing. There should be a bit of crisscrossing. There's a bit of character. It's an awesome track. Like I used to love watching NZ V8s and the V8 Super Tours when we had them. They used to go around that track a lot, and it was always entertaining. So, especially if we get a bit of weather, which is probably quite likely. So, it's probably going to be a pretty action packed. And if anyone ends up on the grass, then they'll probably end up staying there, I'd say.
Yeah, right. Okay,
Nice.
So we got 24 supercars turning up. Pretty much most of the crew, most of the drivers have been over there last weekend and last week, this week, just having a snoop with whatever like T86s or whatever else they can get their hands on.
They're running around in the old NZV8 Camry Toyota. Which that's a beautiful beast, that one. But yeah, it was good to see them at the track, and yeah, again, I've seen a few photos of what Tony's been doing with the stands, and having the Porsche Career Cup Australia coming over as well, which is awesome. To have that category over here. We used to be quite Porsche hungry over here. We used to have our own
Career we can Cup, get that super soft, sweet Michelin rubber on the track. We can grip it up.
Oh mate, yeah. It should be cool, and it's always good to watch. I always enjoyed the Porsches back in the day, so it'll be good to have them on the track, and then we've got a good variety. Got the 86s as usual, and it should be great. And I think like the 6 people that were allocated pit passes for the weekend are really going to enjoy going in the pits and enjoy seeing it all. Because that's the one kind of downside to the event. One, it got sold out of just all tickets, all GA. But within the first day of the tickets being on sale, they sold out of pit passes. So there must have been such little amount allocated. So
you mean like paddock passes? The paddock passes?
Paddock passes. Yeah.
I better check my ticket and see if I bought one with a paddock pass. I can't remember now. I bought it ages ago.
Oh, very, very few. So that's kind of the only downside. At least it'll be quiet for the people that did get tickets. But
that's horrible.
Oh, it is, and it's even worse. I've got other mates that
Call your mate better.
Well, I've got mates with accommodation that didn't actually get tickets, so they've got accommodation in Taupo, and it's like, oh, but can't actually I can't actually go to the event. So it's not something we expected. Like obviously there's only a certain amount of cars to be on the road, and that's limited how many people can go. That's the only kind of downside to where it is. It's a great track and everything. It's going to be a wicked event,
It's
but
10
it's
minutes out
just
of
a little
town.
bit more limited. Again, yeah, it's only 10 minutes out of town, but compared to Pukekohe, which is right in the center of the
Nowhere.
township. Yeah, and you had the kind of infrastructure right around it. You walk from
Yeah,
the track
true,
straight into
true.
the town, and with Taupo they've got to get everyone there and back, and it's I think that is just going to put a bit of stress on the roads, and that's just probably put the limit on it. But either way,
Yeah, okay.
I hope there's just some kind of opportunity for a couple extra tickets to be released on the weekend or
I'll
something,
see what I
because
can do. Make a few
yeah,
phone calls.
that's it. Because there's a few people I know out there
Yeah.
which are
Yeah,
definitely.
there's one bloke in particular you probably give a call and they might be able to sort something out.
Oh, exactly, and fortunately, our mates at Boost Mobile have been handy already, and definitely helped me out, because I was not going to get a paddock pass, and Jason fortunately helped me out, and as usual, I appreciate the support of Boost Mobile.
That's the one.
I'd love
Jason's
it.
guy, easy guy.
Exactly. These guys are onto it, mate. I'll always be a Boost man. So yeah, even though
100%.
Brodie might have pushed them aside, I'm more than happy to wear the hat.
That's it. They'll always have our backing.
Yeah, exactly
Dude, I've
right.
still got the
Exactly right.
shirt. Still got the shirt.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
mate.
it.
I've got all my Boost stuff, and I'll cherish it forever, mate. Big
My my mate,
51, love it.
when we got Bathurst, right, and I caused a bit of a ruckus wearing this shirt down the back of the pits, the Let Brodie Race shirt. One of the other guys that also picked one up that night when we were out for dinner, got offered $1,500 for it.
What?
Well,
What?
Pete only made like a dozen of them,
Yeah.
so
Geez, I would have taken it.
he's gone.
$1,500.
He got offered $1,500. I went, really? Like I was talking to him last night, and he goes, yeah. And I went, I'm not selling mine for $1,500. I'm keeping mine. Like, like no way, no way.
Oh,
I'll
look at
take
that.
it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people out there would have been more than happy to wear those. It's
There
a bit
was a
of a
lot of
shame that,
demand. The demand
yeah,
exceeded supply. That is for sure.
it's
All right,
it's a little
man. I
bit.
won't keep you up anymore. Thank you very much. Looking forward to catch up with you again and your crew next week. And you're in charge of all the festivities in Taupo. I'm in charge of scooters, and you're in charge of festivities.
Oh, bring it on, mate. We'll definitely have a good weekend planned, and yeah, you'll be smiling ear to ear by the time that you get back on the plane.
Oh, I know it. I know it for sure. All right. Thank you
Awesome.
very much,
Okay.
Jaden. Jaden
Thank you
Aben
for having
from
me, guys.
Motorsport Kiwi on Facebook. He's the driving force behind all of the boost. Get Richie and Greg back on track. And once again, see you next week, bud.
Yeah, take
cheers,
it
mate.
easy, guys. Car pie.
Sure.
We'll see you in Aotearoa next weekend.
Yeah,
Sure.
thanks for coming on, mate, and we'll have to get you back on soon. Cheers.
Yeah, sounds good. Anytime, guys. Just sing out. Always happy to be part of it.
Too easy. Enjoy, mate. Speak soon.
Awesome. Take it easy, guys. Have a good one, eh?
Thanks, bud.
Bye.
All right, Ro, just before we wrap up this one, 25 words or less. Danny Ricciardo, was it his fault or not?
I only need one. Yes.
Okay, me too. I'm good with that. All right, so coming up this weekend, you and I are going to head down to Phillip Island. Are you coming down just for the Sunday?
Just be the Sunday. So, and
Yep.
I may need to maybe trying to find a lift down there on Sunday as well, because I'm not 100% sure if Phil's coming or not yet. So we'll have to figure that one out. But he's having a few health issues at the moment, and he may not be able to make it on Sunday. So if he doesn't, I'll have to try and figure out a lift or a bus or something that gets.
Oh,
me
he's got
down there
health
on
issues,
Sunday.
does he? Does that mean he's not allowed out because the team won't let him out of the house?
Yeah, pretty much. So
his dogs won't let him out, so he's been banned from going to car racing because the dogs won't let him out. So now he's got health issues.
Yeah. So no, if he's well enough, he'll definitely be coming. But if not,
Yeah,
then
cool.
I'll have to be trying to find another way. So yeah, we'll see how we go. But I'll definitely still 100% planning on getting there myself though.
Yeah, right. Okay. Well, speaking of what we're talking about is the Speed Series down at Phillip Island this weekend. We've got 6 categories: TCR, Trans Am, Radicals, GT3, the debut of GT4, round one for the
Yes.
brand new category of pretty much well, welcome to production car racing. The
Yeah, pretty much.
GT4
So,
spec, GT4
yep,
spec from the
straight from
factory,
the factory. Yep, straight from
from
the
the
factory,
factory.
straight to the racetrack. Yep.
Yep. We've got the Porsche Sprint Cup, the Michelin Sprint Cup. Thank
Yep.
you, because it's not the noisy ones. Thank you. They're still the
Yeah.
boring ones, but they're not the noisy ones. And it
The
is the 60th
Radicals.
anniversary of Mustang. So it's going to be like the Mustang round.
It is. So there should be plenty of accidents on track.
Yeah, well, we've got the brand new GT4 Mustang being shown, the very
They
first.
they do, which it actually looks pretty nice. I saw a picture of it on Facebook earlier, and it looks pretty damn good, to be honest with you. So
What do you mean? It looks like every other Mustang. Yeah, cool. It's got
yeah,
wings.
well,
And,
it
yeah,
looks nice. Yeah, it's got a few little fancy bits hanging off it to make it look prettier. So
yeah. GT4 spec. Yeah.
yeah. So that's nice. But no, I'm
um,
looking forward to that. So yeah, GT Fan Attack World Series, GT4,
yep.
TCRs, Trans Ams, Radicals, and Porsches. So it's an absolutely ripper lineup of cars.
There's a couple of extra
So
TCRs racing this weekend. I think
even better.
Jude Bugwan is having a go.
Oh, is he? Oh shit,
Yeah,
what's today?
with Benny. Yeah, he's jumping in. And we've got 18 Trans Ams turning up.
It's all right. Today's Tuesday.
Full field of GT3s, of course. So happy
Yep.
days. That's going to be a great weekend. Hopefully Phillip Island does good weather, not Phillip Island things, which can be anywhere
Mm,
from burning on the surface of the sun to frozen from the depths of Antarctica.
yeah, well, if it was anything like today, hasn't been a world of fun in Melbourne today. So
Nah, it's been a bit chilly. All right, man, let's wrap this up. Let's knock this off. We'll do win it or bin it, and then we'll pull a pin.
all right, what do we got for win it or bin it?
So
I've
win it or bin it. Rolling starts for the 6 hour.
uh bin it because I'd like to see them do a standing start, but I understand why they can't.
Same reason. I'm in for the chaos. You got 60
Yeah,
cars. Everyone's getting the flag around the corner. Floor it. Someone's out of position. Someone's going to hit someone. It's going to be chaos. Not my
yeah,
car, not my money, but yeah, standing starts.
yeah,
For the chaos. Multi-class format racing. We covered this off. I'm in it. That's a win.
yeah, 100% win it. So awesome to see just all the cars in their own little battles having to navigate themselves around the track. I just think it makes for awesome entertainment and win it.
All right. The NASCAR app versus the Supercars app.
It's beyond win it. It's blows the supercar app out of the water. It is if you want to look at how to build an app for a sports brand, look at NASCAR.
That is the model. That is the number
Yeah.
one model. It is extraordinary. It is amazing. And I'm still just using the free version. I'm not even
And it
subscribing.
functions.
It's extraordinary. Yes. And intuitive and everything and more that I need is in a clear, defined, easy navigation for a person
Yeah.
who's never even used it. The very first time I used it, I found everything exactly where I wanted it to be. Supercars, stop using somebody's 12-year-old kid to negotiate your social fucking app.
Yeah. I mean, I've never done it before, but let me have a go. I'll do a better job.
It is ridiculous. NASCAR, big win. Now, NASCAR victory burnouts. After every single race, right? Everyone gets to cut and do burnouts up and down the lane, right? Victory lane.
Yep.
There needs to be awarded points for a trophy at the end of the year
Oh, the
for the
burnout
burnout comp. And then
Oh,
at the
yes.
end of the year, they have all of the winners who have won and do a burnout, burn off.
That would be amazing. I would pay to see that.
Is that a winner or bin? That's a winner for me.
That's a winner, 100%.
Let's
Is that your idea?
turn
That's
the
awesome.
victory lane burnouts into a points and style competition, and then all of the winners come back at the end of the last race of the season, and at the end of the race, they just cut loose and then just do a basically summer nats
Just
and have a burnout
line them up
comp.
along the. Problem is the last race is at Phoenix, so that's not a very. Oh no, they've got a lot of actually runoff at Phoenix. No, that's a great place to do it. Yeah, hell yeah, bring it on.
Well, we've got 36 rounds, right? We're not having 36 different winners. There could be like only
No,
10 dudes, maybe
yeah,
15.
even if there's 10, like some tracks are a little bit small. They used to have the
Not at once, like one at a time. You just turn it into a thing.
Oh yeah, no, that'd be cool. Oh no, put them all out there at once. Fuck it, let's go.
Cool. All right, man. Well, thanks for catching up. So coming up rounds, we've got Speed Series this weekend at Phillip Island, and we have Taupo for the very first time next weekend down in New Zealand. I'm going to take my chili bin and get my jandals out and catch up with all my
Chili bin.
bros.
I was down at the beach the other day with one of my Kiwi friends, and she goes, oh, that's a cool chili bin. And I went, fuck is a chili bin? And I realized I've never heard it before.
Oh, you millennials, you got no life experience.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Once again, thank you very much to gamelife.com.au for sponsoring us with Jason. All of your gaming and streaming online needs and peripherals, everything you need for that. Jump onto the website, www.gamelife.com.au. Big thank you again to Jaden for jumping on my Kiwi connection, the Motorsport Kiwi. Check him out on Facebook and Instagram. Give him a follow. Give us a follow on Spotify and Google Pod and Apple Pod. Give us a rating. We need even if you like, give us 5 stars. You know, we won't tell anybody. Tell us, get in touch with us on Facebook with Chat with a Hat. And if we think we're talking crap, let us know. Our egos are fine. If you've got a different opinion, that's perfectly fine. Everyone's got their own perspective. We've got ours. You've heard ours. And we're just here for motorsport, mate. We just like cars going fast, and we'll still be there. So good luck to
100%.
Brodie ever in New Zealand.
Yeah, be interesting to see how he goes coming back and the dynamic with the team and everything like that. So yeah, it's good to see him back on track. Wish it wasn't with Erebus, but it is good nonetheless to see him back in a race car, and hopefully he does well.
Mate, they Erebus make fast cars. He's a fast driver.
Yeah.
If you can put away the head space, the head noise, then get into it.
Yeah, 100%.
Go give it up to the Red Bull boys because they're starting to run away.
Yeah, someone's got to do it.
Yep, and it's on Brodie. So get into it, Bush. All right, mate. I'll see you on Sunday down at Phillip Island, down at PI.
Shall indeed. Yeah, it's going to be a good one. I've just checked the weather. It doesn't look like it's going to be raining, but it is Melbourne, so you never know.
Perfect. All right. Thanks again for listening, everybody. We'll catch up with you in a week or two. So have a good one.
Peace out.